Hello, Gareth here, and welcome to the mess that is my studio, and where I create all wonderful works of art. Sounds good, right? So, I'm going to show you some paintings of a place that you've never been to before. Well, if you have, I'll be very surprised. So I live in Japan, maybe you know that. And I think it's, November the 20th, 2024? Just a minute, have to check. I'm terrible at things like that. November the 18th. And today, suddenly, it became a bit cold. And I absolutely hate it. But until now, it's not been that bad. So I'm really grateful for that. Anyway, moving on, I went to a place called Tsukahara. And what's interesting about this place is that I've often seen it from the highway and passed through it. And it's a fantastic place. So it's a very, quite a mountainous area and very dramatic and beautiful. At least the view is from the highway. And so I think at some point in the past, I tried to find a place and I failed. I actually got very close. But anyway, this time I used Google Maps. Is it Google Maps? Well, Maps on my iPhone, so whatever that is. And I found the place. And maybe, this is my experience. I don't know about you, but things are normally not as good as I imagine them to be. Many things. And that was the case this time. However, I did find some really, God knows. I'm doing it live. So you don't get some clean cut, polished version here. You get the truth. You get it as it is. So I did see some beautiful scenery, but I don't know what I was expecting, but it didn't quite reach that expectation. Hope that makes sense. But I still had a good time. I had a real good time. And I took my drone up and got some amazing images. And I did see some beautiful places. And the atmosphere was very nice too. And so anyway, what I'm going to do is show you my paintings. And there will be a movie. I want to call it a movie. It's only about 20 minutes long though, of my trip to this place called Tsukahara. And you can see the place and then see my paintings and the actual scene that I painted. So you might find that interesting. And at some point in the future, because I haven't finished editing yet, it takes so long and editing is so challenging for me, but I'm getting there. I'm 50% of the way through it, and I will get there. And when I have done that, I will put a link in the description box below. But anyway, this was the main scene, and I painted this on the spot, but I'm misleading you here. So this area here, I did a painting on the spot, and God knows where that one is. It's not that great. It was good for an outdoor painting, but this is the studio version, which is much better. So I'm really happy with this. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed looking at that. So I'm really happy with that. And then I did some little sketches. So I had an image of me actually painting, doing the on-the-spot painting, and Sorry, I've got nuts in my throat or something. It always happens when you do it live. But anyway, here's a painting of me painting. Goodness me. And yeah, it's not really a very, what do you call it? It's just a kind of sketch, but I quite like it. I quite like it. It's not very polished, if you know what I mean, but I think the angle is nice. I think there's something quite fun about it. So, and I enjoy doing it. So, yeah. And then at one point, I went along this narrow road and do you want to see a crappy painting? Here's one of my crappy paintings. You get it all here, burps, farts, everything. Hopefully not, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, terrible. My soul sinks when I look at this painting. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's shite. So yeah, I do, even after 20 years of painting, I still do shite paintings, and it still is upsetting for me. There you go. This is where you get the real deal. You get the truth. It's not polished. But this one is a cracker. This one is great. So this is the narrow road I went along, and there was this nice dog there. You'll see it in the movie that one day will be finished. And I added the person as well. But the sunlight was absolutely amazing. It was beautiful. And I know this sounds stupid, but I don't give an F. The green, the colour of the green, as the light was hitting that green, it was so beautiful. You know, it's seeing things like that that makes me paint. You know, that's what makes me get up and paint. And it's pictures like that make me want to just quit and jump in the sea and drown. You know what I mean. And then I did a stupid painting, so, which is always a good thing to do, especially for me, because I'm too conservative. Have to be a bit more adventurous. And this was another site where I stopped. Here's the car, and I got out, and for some reason I just liked this scene, and the figure is from my imagination, and I think I did a pretty good job at that. And I quite like it. I quite like it. Yeah. And then this, I'm really happy with this one. So I find city scenes quite easy to do and quite exciting, to be honest, although the pollution annoys me a bit. But countryside scenes I find quite challenging, to be honest. But this year I've been painting a lot of countryside scenes and also a lot of mountains, and I've improved, you know, and that's a big deal as you get older, because seriously, everything's beginning to slowly fall apart and your abilities are slowly beginning to deteriorate. And so that you can still improve in your painting, goodness me, it makes you almost want to bloody cry with like, oh my goodness, I'm not losing everything yet. It is what it is. Anyway, I painted this countryside scene and I'm delighted with this. And can you understand what I mean about that green, that light green? I don't know why, but I love that colour. I love it. I don't know what it is. Sometimes when you talk about art and you really try to convey what you feel, you sound like an idiot. And if you normally sound like an idiot anyway, and people tell you that, then it makes it hard and you don't want to talk about your art. But I'm going to try, you know, you just have to try, because if you persist, I think eventually you start to get there and you start to be able to express that thing that, yeah, anyway, yeah. Like I said, we're doing it live. So I'm so delighted with this. Really happy with that. It's beautiful. And please remember, I do prints of these paintings, and you know, I'm an underdog. I've been doing this for 20 years. Here's my plug, yeah. I really believe I'm a great artist. I really believe that. But for some reason, you guys don't. Why? So please buy my prints. They're super cheap. I mean, the one I got from China was, and it's on my wall here, and it's fantastic. The framing, you know, there's a little scratch on one corner, but it was so cheap. It's like it's worth it. It's worth it. You know, there's tiny little mistakes with the framing, but for the price, it's fantastic value, and the painting looks great. Do I have to get it off the wall and show you? Maybe next time, but it looks fantastic. Oh, look, I can do this. Look, tell me. This looks fantastic, right? That looks fantastic. That's Hotel California in Japan, yeah? That is the prefecture that is most like California, in my opinion. Not for technology, not at all, but for like being a really, you know, like that kind of dreamy sunset, chill vibe place. That's the place. I'll tell you what it's called. I'm no good at suspense. Miyazaki. So if you come to Japan, it's a real nice place to go to. It's next to the Pacific Ocean. It's kind of like on the other side maybe of California, right? Yeah. Okay, anyway, moving on. So here's another one I did from my drone this time. I've got a new drone. My old one died this year, died at sea. And I'm really happy with this, and I love these rays of light that I managed to capture, and I think it's beautiful. I was so happy with that until I did this next one, which I blew myself away with. You know, it's a very simple painting, but I love it. Why do I like this painting so much? I can't say why. Maybe it's something to do with the colours. Definitely the colours are lovely, and something about the sense of direction, and something about the size. You know, this tiny figure and this thing here that's so huge. It looks good. I'm trying to figure out why I like it so much, and it's just got a kind of pureness to it, which some of my paintings don't have, because I tend to be very heavy or something like that. God knows, I don't know. And I love these little bits, flecks of light green here. That's beautiful. So basically, I just added that at the end. You know, that's just like a mix of green paint with white paint mixed together. And it looks fabulous, in my opinion. Yeah. And then there was this farm here, and it's interesting because when I first saw this, I thought, that's ugly. I'm not painting that. And I ended up painting it, but I quite like it. And I did my rays of light again. Sorry, I'm just doing a minor burp. So I like that. I'm happy with it. I'm saving the best for last. This was an experiment, and I'm quite happy with this. I don't think it quite works, but I still like it a lot. So this is the car and me, and this is me going on my journey. But I had a lot of fun doing this. I really enjoyed painting this. And then my final one, which I think is a little bit epic for a tiny, especially for a tiny painting. It may be a tiny painting, but I think that's beautiful. I think that's got a little bit of an epic feel. I'm so glad with the grass effect here. And yeah, I'm just so happy with how that turned out. And I'm really not that sure how I did that. I think I used white paint. I use some white paint. And just a little tip for you here, if you are an artist yourself, from someone who's quite an experienced artist, I think I can say that after 20 years, and maybe for the last 7-8 years I've been painting mostly every day, so I think that's experience. It's easy to get into a straitjacket of always trying to develop a certain style, and you get comfortable and safe with that style. You've probably heard this many times before, but anyway, I think it's really good to get a watercolor book like pad like this, spiral pad. I love spiral pads. I recommend spiral pads. And anyway, it's good to get one that's different from all your other pads, and it's still fairly good paper, and turn it into like your crap art book, in which you go nuts. You go nuts with the white paint. You get the old palette knife out and start scraping, and God knows, you do all kinds of stupid stuff, like erasing, using the cheap, crappy wax crayons that you think no fine artist would do. Have you seen fine art? Most fine art is crap. It's worthless, It's rubbish. It's not interesting at all. Okay, just my opinion there. But anyway, you need a special book, like you've got a special place where you paint. That's what I've got. Yeah, you also need a special book, I think, where you do all kinds of crappy paintings. And don't worry, I'm going to do that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you what I've done, because you shouldn't be afraid of all those turds or whatever, because this is the thing. In the cracks, in the shite, in the mistakes, that's where you begin to find wonderful things. That's where it kind of like flex your muscles and build your confidence with your materials and trying different things. But it can be very hard to be that adventurous, or what's the word I'm looking for, to be that experimentative. So I encourage you to be experimentative, but I'm waffling here. That should be something for another time. So after I've made my crap book and completely filled it with crap art and show you some of the crap stuff I've done, I hope I can use that word, my scrap art book, then I have to do this video again, right? If that's the case. Anyway, I'll whatever, figure it out. See the limitations, whatever, with YouTube. But you want to be able to speak freely. It's the Western world, free speech, right? Anyway, getting back to my point, I'll make a video on that. But anyway, I wanted to show you this place called Tsukahara. And there will be a movie at some point, and there's going to be a link to the movie. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't just like and subscribe. Please buy a framed painting and put it on your wall, please, because my paintings are fantastic. So that's one thing I really do know. Anyway, that's it for this one. I've done my plug. I've shown you some lovely paintings, and I talked about Tsukahara. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, I can't reply to your comments because I've got things to do, paintings to paint, videos to edit, and stuff like that. But I will like, and yeah, I also do private teaching. So if you feel like you need that personal touch, and you want someone who really cares and knows well about teaching watercolor painting, then I'm I'd be delighted to help you. It's very difficult sometimes to end these videos, but that's it. Ending now, finished, goodbye, and have a nice life. And I'll be back soon. Goodbye for now.